Hi, my friends and family. Today, my offering for you is called Your Free Will is Where You Left It, or Here. Did you ever have one of those days or one of those lifetimes, or like me, a bunch of planets in retrograde, and feel like through habit or circumstance, trauma, or like today, through super champagne problem of tolerance, I couldn't get my flesh suit to work just the way I wanted it to? Well, we are creatures of habit, and yet this is how we've remained programmed by the dark side and stuck forever. Your free will is where you left it or here. Through habit, routine, obligation, or addiction, we can forget it every day. And an average human makes thousands or millions of choices, although the AI microalgorithmic entrainment can lessen it each day. There are those who feel that life is nothing left to chances, mostly holy rollers, cyborg human 2.0 slaves, and other dumbasses. Now you may choose not to decide, then you still have made a choice. You may choose to obey some insane demiurgic middleman voice. I must choose the path that's real. I must choose free will. Your free will is where you left it, or here. You're alive fully. Through habit, routine, obligation, and addiction, we can forget it. Our free will. Every day, an average human makes thousands or millions of choices, although the AI micro-algorithmic entrainment is often making it easier, getting to the point where during the singularity, humans 2.0 will never have to make any decisions ever again. What you'll eat, think, do, say, and identify yourself as, will they be the same? Will they be the same old? Well, your free will is wherever you left it. If it is not here and now, okay, we got a lot of satanic ritual abuse and subconscious mainstream media satanic ritual abuse, war, pestilence programming, uh, box slavery for most. Sure, you have day-to-day survival mode that most are caught in, which is a form of mind control. Sure, you have to take care of your 3D flesh suit, keep it safe, keep it shelter it, clean it, feed it, as well as your children. If you're lucky, you're smart enough, intelligent, and wise enough to figure out how to have children right now, or extremely dangerous enough, reckless enough to do that, or and of course you have to keep your mission or your dream, your blueprint or dream in life safe. Could it be that the dark side has been constantly trying to fight you step by step to siphon or drain or to steer your free will? Let's see. I wonder. Yet, do you have these often contractual legal agreements, engagements such as the encouraged legal governmentalized version of hierogamy, modern marriage? Or what about old religion? Do you still believe in the old religious ways of patriarchal authority, churchy and Christians? Do you still allow Zetas and Dracos, the Draconian and or Anunnaki forces to control you through your habits, through being a 3D slave to them, or habits of being controlled by the box, or a wage slave, or whipped husband or wife, thus feeding them loose daily. Is this is this life, is your existence or your ability to choose an ultimatum, a multiple choice question, or an infinite choice question? Whose will be done? Thine. But only if you're harmless in the respectful image of the Most High, sacred Christos, and the new religions of course, of inverted Luciferianism and the killer soul denying scientism death cult and their soul killing transhumanism. How can you be an organic farmer or sun priest or utilize her healing rays under space fence and geoengineering? How can you have free will in a prison planet system? Start by doing some shadow work and begin to remove that restrictive dogma, that inverted, perverted, sick, patriarchal dogma that says you can only do as the demiurge says, while remembering inherent harmlessness and that freedom requires more morality, discernment, discipline. Knowing sovereignty is your birthright on Earth, especially if you're born on Turtle Island or USA. You will slowly, gradually, through discernment and forgiveness, and if you allow yourself to meditate and have gentle, divine, goddess-like reassurance, if you can, of the true peace and discerning the fact that the real goddess is respectful, you will replace most of your contracted, limited worldviews with expansive, honest reality. Eventually, seeing your free will is always and always has been in the here and now only, or mostly. No, it can be hard shadow work. I know it can be hard shadow work. I'm still working through it myself. So take tolerance breaks, go on vision quests, travel, change your routine, change your viewpoint, or you may never achieve it. Some may not see how to retrieve it after centuries and lifetimes of planetary soul enslavement and memory wipe in between lifetimes so they can never evolve. Some have to go back and retrieve it from Lucifer or Yahweh. Remember in the Matrix, the horrors that Neo felt, seeing the siphoning, seeing that we're all hooked up. And look what happened to the brothers Wachowski for creating that. Now they have undergone the highest Luciferian ritual of the sex change operation. Accepting, how can you have free will in the war? Well, it's tricky. You have to remember the original people, the Aboriginals' commandment to be creative every day is inherent. So if you're an artist or a living being who wants to follow that commandment, then realizing that's a natural way of nature, you have to do what I'm doing now, engage in warfare in a creative way, be information. Since we're on the level of war that's mostly information warfare, share the truth peacefully and discerningly in your own creative ways. Accepting the reality of both, the need to have free will and creativity, and that you were in a psychological warfare that's planetary. Fight for freedom. The original Earth reality, sort of like, in the Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna was talking to Arjuna, he didn't want to fight. Well, I say this to particularly all of you in California who still obey your sick impulse for spiritual bypassing, have the courage and the self-respect and self-love and discernment to overturn that, so that you can remember, at least in the level of thought, if not eventually in all of our actions and even our sovereignty on all levels to remember to reclaim free will. It's buried underneath that dogma. It's buried underneath that trauma or that that rape or that war, being in war. Remember the struggle in the movie Truman Show that Truman went through. Especially if you're in an obedient region or town such as Santa Cruz, California, where most people have extreme cognitive dissonance, Pollyanna, and spiritual bypassing. Like I said, like I say several times, Anne Frank, the woman from the wealthy family who was a girl who was born deaf and blind, who overturned those enough to write and communicate, she said, life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. All slavery, mental, financial slavery, physical slavery, and addictions, any form of slavery, including all physical addictions in particular, can be overcome eventually by reasserting original divine human rights and reclaiming sovereignty, being with your free will. What was it? Where did you go? Where did you leave your free will? It's right there where you left it, wherever that was. Remember in the movie Groundhog Day, my homie said it was a classic Buddhist story, and he's repeating his life in the Groundhog Day. Bill Murray. I saw it. I was watching it on the plane flying back to California one time. But he changes his life through practicing my mantra that I preach on almost every show here in my Thanksgiving offering here, by being thankful, giving thanks to all the people every day. So the movie Groundhog Day is attempting to show and demonstrate how you can stay stuck in your 9 to 5 life and your rent and mortgage and your marriage, but yet if you're willing to transform your awareness to being thankful of the little things, of the little people that you cross, instead of pretending to be polite or ignoring them, or talking shit, fighting with them, which many will do. You can transform that into giving thanks to every time you interact with someone, or bowing, or saying thank you, I am blessed. Many people act, it kind of annoys me or terrifies me at times when people are shocked when I say I'm blessed. But you'll be surprised at how well that might improve your day. And again, if you don't have the courage or the wherewithal or the discipline, or you're not at the point where you're ready to change your life situation, your town, your job, your shitty situations with narcissists, you can simply learn to give thanks as a practice, as I've said as my meditation. If you enjoyed this, click subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Follow me on Odyssey if I get the mood to go into the deep truth that I'm not allowed to talk about here. Whatever you do, folks, even if you don't change anything about your routine, even if it gets worse and worse and you can't take a tolerance break and you're a raging alcoholic, just give thanks all the time. Give thanks. Think of it all as part of your spiritual edification. But remember, if you can overturn the dark spirits within, if you can give up the alcohol as I have, if you can give up and do some of the shadow work and give up some of the problems and unidentify with some of your bullshit, then you reclaim the space for the true free will to come back without having to ask permission from anyone or Satan or anyone. You begin to be yourself again, even more. And that is what the process of awakening into the 5th and 6th dimension and beyond is all about. Create a great day, my family.